Welcome to Committee News, where we deal with the analysis of worldwide news events and consider them as forces that impact and affect our melanin-dominant consciousness, as we remember that we are the oldest humans on Earth and that our ancestry and bloodline is about 78 trillion Earth years old. Watch now, watch today, and subscribe to Committee News. Committee News deals with spiritual forces behind all news and how you can thwart their agenda. The meaning of all news today. We look at the issue that is happening in Europe. Ukraine edges unit against Russian aggression, and Russia is thought to have invaded Ukraine, and these were once one country, brothers and sisters that are now fighting against each other because of borders and geopolitical influence. Zelensky urged a European unit against Russian aggression, calling for a stronger collective defense. His speech sparked debates over European Union military integration, revealing deep divisions between Eastern agents and Western hesitation. Why? What's going on? What's the problem here? Let's look at the political context. The conflict highlights Europe's dependence on United States security guarantees and debates on strategic autonomy, which is now on shaky grounds due to Trump's desire to end the war and the warning by Pete Hegseth that shocked NATO when he said that NATO must look forward to not having United States troops on the ground. NATO-EU coordination remains contentious, with Hungary's pro-Russian stance adding to the complexity. Ukraine's European Union membership and its bid to become a member has raised concerns over defense commitments. The human cost has never been seriously considered. The socio-political impact is very hard for a very sane human mind to accept. Civilians, especially women and children who are innocent in all this conflict, bear the brunt of displacement and the trauma. PTSD rates in frontline communities exceed 30%, as well as refugees, and the suffering and the pain and emotional trauma, exacerbating long-term societal effects. This cannot be a thing or an event or events that are orchestrated by sane human beings. Cultural heritage destruction fuels nationalism, while disinformation deepens polarization, divisions, hate, and a long-term effect on human relationships. The biggest question is, why are human beings fascinated with war? Why is the arms industry the largest all over the earth? Why is our technological advancement always go on and perpetuate conflict, whether global or individual? Even our toys and entertainment is all militarized. Video games and media glorify war, and all at the end of the day desensitize society to love violence, to worship violence. Even our entertainment, wrestling, boxing, anything has a war impact and a war effect around it. Why? We claim to be enlightened and we claim to be highly educated and not to be primitive, but why do we glorify the war? Why do we fail to break this cycle of war? We need to emphasize on conflict resolution, on education, economic redirection and security, and approach everything with alternative to military war or even to any form of conflict. Our spirituality must combat addictive neurochemistry, which could reduce war's psychological appeal. But we also have to cast the spirit and remove the demons that are in our military systems, because yes, Ukraine case gives us that ability to understand and to study collective trauma. The destruction of Mariupol mirrors past war zones, illustrating repetitive devastation. Crowdsourced intelligence challenges state-controlled war narratives. Why? Why? Because the propaganda is to promote war and fighting. Refugee influx test social cohesion and expose xenophobic undercurrents, long-term division, and the effect on humanity. Are we on earth to see all this suffering? Why? War remains a geopolitical necessity for some, but preventable tragedy for all of us who are saying, why fight about borders? Who cares about borders? Who wants these passports? The male-dominated society that we live in has war at the highest, reflecting deep biocultural confusion or male spirit possession. Something possesses most males to love war. Look at even artificial intelligence-driven war. You would think that it would force humanity to relinquish fighting and destroying each other and let robots and AI fight on their own. But no, humanity is to be involved. Blood is to be shed. Pain is to be inflicted. The Ukrainian crisis presents an opportunity to redefine security beyond militarization and to learn to resolve petty issues. True peace requires dismantling war's psychological, economic, and political foundations. A tough choice indeed for all of us. But realize the following: war is pure evil. Through its generation of immense suffering, destruction, and loss, war is evil. I can say it's satanic, it's diabolic. Doesn't matter who is right, doesn't matter who is wrong. Destruction and loss cannot be glorified. But that's what we are doing. While often it is framed as a necessity for defense or political objectives, its cost on human lives lost, communities shattered, and psychological trauma and scars far outweighs any perceived gains it is instigated to give. They are malevolent entities who feed from the emotional, traumatic output by humans, especially when war is engaged and the death of millions and millions of innocent human beings. Well, subscribe to our channel, Hamiti Iburu Ethics. Let us meet again soonest with more news and more analysis. Remember, every human being has that capacity and ability to be possessed by a spirit that will drive you into a war or a conflict position, whether in your marriage, whether in your family, whether at work, whether anywhere, whether you're in a bus driving or walking. That spirit that wants you to be in a war manner or generate energy that is negative is always there. But you need a system to remove and to sustain it. Let's meet again soonest with more news, events, and with more identifying abilities of the agenda of these spiritual forces that are behind all news and working hard to thwart their agenda. Your manager Topi, Priest Rabbi LM Dumuzi Kunikenim Jaganja, says watch Hamiti News and stay informed. Subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and let us continue to be alert using Maati Ubuntu as we stem away his fate. Ububi, Uyipi, Ameni.